China is a substantial buyer of metals and minerals mined in South Africa. Substantial quantities of metals including manganese, chrome and iron ore are sold to China. A major question now being asked is what is the likely impact of the coronavirus on the export of such metals to China? And is the danger of this potential impact being fully taken into account? This is what Menar MD Vuslat Bayoğlu had to say on the issue.
China is not consuming what they need to consume to make steel. Because if you look at all these things that we produce in South Africa in the mining industry, mostly going to China, Chinese steel production. So your manganese, your chrome, your metallurgical coal, your iron ore, they are not consuming as much as they were consuming before. So I think the commodities, the commodity prices are not feeling it yet, but the reality is China is not going to grow 6% this year or 7%. What does that mean? If China doesn't grow 6-7%, that means that there will be less minerals used in steel production. So I think in maybe in the next 2 to 3 months, we will start feeling the heat and the price. I think the prices are going to come down drastically. That's what I'm thinking, and this will not be good for the mining industry. To give you an example, like we hear like chrome shipments to China, the captains of the ships are refusing to offload the cargoes in China. They don't want to go to China. So, and these things are going to have effect. Shipping companies are in trouble because of because of the disruption, because of coronavirus. Their staff doesn't want to travel to China. So there's a reality. Even though China is trying their best to keep it under control, I'm watching the South African ambassador, Chinese ambassador to South Africa, and I think they're doing great. They're putting ads every day on the papers, like wherever they are, how many new cases, how many people died, and all those kind of things. But the reality is now it's spread to Italy, big time, Iran, and we've got some cases in South Africa, and I think South African government is trying their best to make sure that it's not going to affect the nation. But the reality is coronavirus is there for China, and we are the biggest supplier of manganese and chrome and one of the big suppliers of iron ore to China, and those businesses are going to be affected. And if you think about even the battery minerals like your vanadium, or like nickel, manganese again, lithium, because China is not producing enough batteries now, those minerals are going to be affected as well. So there's a huge disruption, and I think people might be underestimating what's happening. I mean, we saw today like crude oil crashed. Okay, it's not only linked to coronavirus, but there's a price war between countries. But the reality is world economy is not really doing well. And I mean, if you think about it, let's say a manganese mine is producing manganese, but they can't offload. What happens to that company? If they don't get the revenue, after a while, they will be in financial trouble. So it's a problem for the mining company. It's a problem for the lending bank to that mining company. So we have to be very cautious, and we have to make sure that we are doing the right things to deal with the issue. It's a bit concerning for me, even though our business is not really going to be affected because we don't have huge exposure with the banks. But the reality is, when China is in trouble, the world is going to be in trouble. When China has got flu, everybody's going to have flu. In terms of, I'm talking about economical flu. So we have to be careful, and we should not underestimate what's happening in China. It will affect our manganese operation. We were planning to start in May, and we will see what's going to happen with the price of manganese, because we are waiting for our water use license for the project to be started. Once we have the water use license, we'll look at the market, and we'll see if we should start the project, or if we should wait a little bit and then inform the authorities regarding what's happening, South African regulators, what's happening, why we're not starting the project yet. But I'm concerned again. Manganese and chrome are going to be affected hard, especially chrome. It's already affected ferrochrome production. We all know what's happening with Samenkor, retrenching people, which is very worrying. And it's important for us because we supply them anthracite. So we want them to have a healthy business so that we carry on supplying them anthracite. So manganese is a problem. Anthracite would also be affected. Like one of our customers is RBM, Richest Bay Minerals. We have Cemencor, and they all supply products to China. So if they can't supply to China, they will slow down with their production. But again, like I think all the companies have to make a call at some point, if the virus is not under control, to say, okay, what are we doing in terms of our production? Because it is affecting China, and how long will it carry on affecting? That's going to determine the companies what they will do in terms of like offloading their products or finding alternative markets or slowing down with their production.